Welcome to the historic Ocean House, a luxurious hotel that pays homage to New England's golden age of hospitality, with timeless elegance and renewed civility. This treasured resort is the setting of our special broadcast of the Ocean House Author Series, each program featuring nationally best-selling and award-winning authors in a salon-style conversation, hosted by Ocean House owner, actress, and best-selling author Deborah Goodrich Royce. WCRI is pleased to partner with the Ocean House to present this ongoing series, which brings you the best and the brightest of the literary world. Now, let's take you to the Ocean House.
Sarah McCoy is the New York Times, USA Today, and internationally best-selling author of the novels Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely, Mustique Island, Marilla of Green Gables, The Mapmaker's Children, The Baker's Daughter, which was a 2012 Goodreads Choice Award for Best Historical Fiction nominee. Her work has been featured in Newsweek, LitHub, Write or Die Tribe, Real Simple, The Millions, Your Health Monthly, Huffington Post, Read It Forward, Writer Unboxed, and other publications. She hosted the NPR WSNC Radio Monthly program Bookmarked with Sarah McCoy and is the founder of the McCoy Grant. Sarah previously taught English writing at Old Dominion University and at the University of Texas at El Paso. She lives with her husband Doc B, dog Gilly, and cat Tutu in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Welcome, Sarah. Yes. This evening, Sarah will be in conversation with Deborah Goodrich Royce. Deborah's latest book, Reef Road, a national bestseller, was named one of the best books of 2023 by Kirkus Reviews and an Indie Next pick by the American Booksellers Association. Her forthcoming book, Best Boy, comes out February 24th, 2026. You can pre-order now through Martin House Books. We have some great swag if you do. She began as an actress on All My Children and multiple films before transitioning to the role of story editor at Miramax Films, developing Emma and early versions of Chicago and A Wrinkle in Time. With her husband Chuck, Deborah restored the Avon Theater, Ocean House Hotel, Deer Mountain Inn, United Theater, Martin House Books, and numerous Main Street revitalization projects in Rhode Island and the Catskills. Sarah and Deborah will now discuss Sarah's latest book, Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely, and we will open it up to questions after the discussion, so please just raise your hand. We'll run you over a microphone so folks listening in the future can hear your questions. And that is all for me. So without any further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Sarah McCoy and Deborah Goodrich Royce.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so glad you're here. So
I know.
I have to begin this by saying this author series is a completely unintended consequence of my late in life writing career. And it has been one of the most joyful surprises of my life because through it, I get to meet people. I want to call Sarah McCoy Sarah Lovely because you are one of the loveliest
I'll
people
answer to
I
anything.
know. First time I've met you in person, but you exude loveliness, my dear.
That is so kind.
You do.
It is true. We have never met in person, and she comes in up in the lobby, and I come in, and we just, oh, hi, and we started hugging, and I was like, we've never met before. How did this happen?
Well, it is a really incredible thing.
Well, you had your arms
open.
open, you know? Like, you can only give so much as being offered to be accepted. So thank you for having your arms wide open to me and bringing me here.
So I have had the pleasure of reading this book early, and the cover is as gorgeous. The outside is as beautiful as the inside. And I loved it so much, and I'm just delighted that you're here. I'd like you to begin just with however you want to synopsize this, as much as you want to tell.
Okay, so this is the story of a young actress. At the beginning, she's around 18, 19 when the book opens, who wants to be an actress. You know, she wants to be famous and is catapulted to the very, very heights of fame as she's cast. So I don't want to give too much away though, because I will give it all away up here, and I don't want to. She's cast as Juliet in a musical version in the book of Romeo and Juliet, and that is mirrored gently off of the 1968. Who knows the 1968 Romeo and Juliet? I hear the theme song right now. A rose will bloom, you know, and I get all like weaky, and I'm like, this is so wonderful. So it's loosely based on that and being shot to the top of everyone's adoration worldwide. And then decides to leave it all behind and become a Benedictine nun, which is a cloistered nun. So to go from being like not just beautiful and beloved by everyone, but the lover of the world, really, at that moment, and then to become a cloistered nun, what would make that transition happen? And it's a dual narrative, so it's her story, Lori Lovely, and what happened to her to make her make that decision. And then it's contemporary setting, which is 1990, and it is her niece, Lou Tibbet, who is a fifth-year senior history major, trying to get out of college and get her stuff done. And so she decides to do her thesis on the mystery of whatever happened to her Aunt Lori, who is now Mother Lori Lovely at the Abbey. And so she goes there because, of course, when she became a cloistered nun, all the journalists and biographers and everyone didn't have any answers because she was behind a closed wall. They got no answers, so they made up their own. So now Lou goes to the Abbey in 1990 to finally get the truth, because what is truth, right? So that's kind of a synopsis.
So what I want to ask is the Romeo and Juliet version that you really kind of hinged your story on, is that what drove your two timelines, particularly 1960s and 1990?
Not really. The way this started was that I was sitting at home. I'm very cool, by the way. Let me just start. I was sitting at home watching Turner Classic Movie Channel, and on came Where the Boys Are, that film. What? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? I feel chills. I got chills. What are you going to say?
I want to hear your story.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you my Connie Francis on an airplane story.
Oh my gosh. Okay. She just passed away.
I know, she did.
But she, that came on, I'd never seen it before. And I found I feel like I'm such a classic movie lover. Something about the storytelling back then, it always has like music and there's something about it. So I was like, how have I not seen this? I must watch every bit. And the first actress to pop on was Dolores Hart. She's blonde, she's got blue piercing eyes, and she plays a character called Merritt, who is very feminist and powerful and forward and progressive and all these things. And I'm watching this movie like, yes, I get this woman. This was made in 1960, and this is 2016 at the time, and I was like, I get this woman. I would be her friend. We would be each other's like college besties. And then at the end, the host came on and said, soon after making this film, well, first off, she was also Elvis's first on-screen kiss. There were rumors that she had a romantic relationship with Elvis. All this, the host, my friend Mike, told me. And so he's saying all this, and he says, and then after she made this film, she left Hollywood altogether at 22, 23, and she cut her hair. She went from Hollywood to Connecticut, joined a Benedictine Abbey, and has been there ever since and still there. Mm-hmm. Mother Dolores Hart. And that's what was the actual linchpin.
Right.
That's when I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is crazy. I can't even make this up. And then I went down a rabbit hole of researching, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to send her a fan. I didn't think this was going to be a book at all, guys. Not at all. I just thought, this is amazing, this story. I'm going to send her a fan letter just on literal notebook paper. Like, I feel like such a baby now, and I think back about, like, I'm, like, taking out notebook paper and writing this woman, and I said, I just want to let you know I saw this movie for the first time in my life. You were incredible then. I want you to know that your art is still touching people, even though you have been out of the public eye for decades. Because I hope, and I know you do too, that your movies and the stories you tell, that even if you snapped out of this world and this realm this minute, that those would go on and people would still have a part of you that was influencing their life. And so I just wanted to let her know that, because she didn't poof and go on. You know, she's here. So I wrote her a letter, and it was like putting a message in a bottle. I didn't think I'd hear back. And I did. She wrote me back a card and said, thank you, this means so much to me, and I'm glad my work is still being seen by young women and young people. And then she said, how are you? What can I pray for you about? And I was like, oh, I'm taken up on this, and none wants to put up a good message, I'm doing this. So I started writing her, and then that began now it's been a decade, more than, almost a decade. So 2016, and it's 2025, we've been writing each other back and forth, and she has become, I'm not Catholic either. I'm not Catholic at all, and I let her know that because I'm so transparent with her. I said, I'm not Catholic, I'm gonna say things wrong, I'm sorry, but I am a seeker. Like, I'm very curious about spirituality, about God, about how God is displayed in different people's lives and in different people's belief systems. And she said, that's all you need, that's all you need. And she had her arms wide open to me and became a significant influence in my life. And this is the first book where I went on a journey and I changed as a person through the writing and through getting to know Lori Lovely. Like, I'm a different person than I was when I started writing this. And it's not just Dolores, Mother Dolores. This is based on 3 actresses. Mother Dolores, and it's all in the back of the book. I'm not giving anything away. This is in my author's note. Mother Dolores Hart, Olivia Hussey from Romeo and Juliet, and Ava Gardner, who is from my home place of North Carolina in that area. So all 3 of their stories, the link between them, and a key component of this book that drove me to write the story is this idea that we all are trying to be something spectacular in this world, right? We all want to be famous or successful, and we have these sort of benchmarks of what we need to do to attain those things. Well, these girls did it. These women did it. They were the height of fame of what they wanted to be. They were glorified and loved by everyone at a very, very young age. And all 3 of them, what caught me is that in all their biographies and a bunch of stuff written about Ava, they all came to a point very young where they said, so everyone loves me and everything's wonderful and I've done everything and I'm the most famous I'm ever going to be. Now what? Oh God, now what? Because now I have no what do I do? What do I do now? And also, I can only let people down now because I'm already way up here. And when you think about it in a very plain way for each of us, it's like, I am at the height of beauty at 19, these girls. Well, guess what? If you're the most beautiful thing ever, you're on the cover of everything, everyone loves you and says you're most beautiful, tomorrow, you're gonna be one day older and a little wrinkle. And the next day, there's gonna be a sunspot. And guess what? And I know this, 10 years from now, things are gonna start to sort of droop that weren't drooping in the last picture you took. And that is just nature and life and humanity. But that's very difficult when you've been told that you are the epitome of everything perfect and wonderful. And how that resonated for me isn't that what we're doing now in our culture on Instagram, all these young people? It's just that perfection.
It is. Yeah, it's writ large. I think historically that kind of experience was a little bit more confined to the very famous. That feeling of reaching some, peak of a mountain at an age where it was only downhill. I mean, maybe it's true of everyone, but I think for many people who achieve fame in youth, it's extraordinarily distorting. It's one thing to maybe be Prince William or Prince Harry, although that's debatable, who are kind of trained to take it on from the day they're born. But stardom is very few. I think of child actors, and it takes my breath away when people say, I'm just going to have my child act. And I think, don't do it, because it is the very rare child actor who can survive, because they're hired for a quality, generally speaking. And whatever quality you possess when you're 5, 8, 10, you're not going to hold on to that, whatever that thing is. And not a lot of them come through it unscathed.
And that's what I found in their memoirs, and each of them went looking then for something internal, and because they all said, I got it all, and I'm not happy. That's the problem too, is I'm not happy, and I'm gonna lose it all little by little. Even like great amounts of money, if someone gets it. You need money to live. You're just gonna have to pay out. So no matter what, that can't be your security. And that's what they all three said. So Mother Dolores Hart looked inwardly and went to the church. She said, that's where I want to find purpose and meaning. Olivia Hussey, in her memoir, it's called Girl on the Balcony. Please go get it if you want a nonfiction, great book. Girl on the Balcony, she said that she went and started following a guru, like Liz Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love. She followed a guru and almost became a Sikh. And then Ava Gardner also said, I'm the most beautiful, but now what? I don't feel any love. She went and tried to find it in men, in a husband.
Yeah, good luck.
That didn't work. And so she became an alcoholic. I mean, that's not something to laugh about, but she really, that's how much she was trying to fill something that she couldn't get out here. So she became an alcoholic, and it pretty much destroyed her. And so those three, that seeking again is a through line in this book, is that aren't we all seeking something? Well, here's a story about other women, one in particular that became all three of those, Lori Lovely, who is seeking something more.
Well, True Confessions, and we're going to lay it all out here right now.
Oh boy.
I haven't talked about this here. So
I'm nervous. No.
I was an actress in youth, and I too had an Indian spiritual teacher, a guru, and a spiritual practice, and I went to this ashram over and over, and it was a very important part of my life.
That is
and
incredible.
I married and had 2 children and went through a really horrific divorce, not my choice. And I was so shattered, I went with my children to the ashram and put the question out there. Should I live here? Should I go on staff? I was never going to be a Swami. I had 2 children. And I got an absolute clarity of no. And then I met the man I'm married to now, which was the weirdest. I was at that point where I thought, I will make this choice.
Yeah.
I will go live this life.
Oh my God, you and Lori Lovely. I'm like, did I like have some sort of like,
Yeah.
That's so crazy, because, I mean, you've read the book, we don't want to give anything away, but this is,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
You reading this must have been like,
very powerful.
wow.
Very powerful.
We'll take a short break and be back with the Ocean House Author Series here on WCRI.
This winter, beat the blustery days and the midwinter blues with a great read. Present the gift of escape from nationally best-selling and award-winning author Deborah Goodrich Royce. Her newest novel, Best Boy, is a gripping psychological thriller, an engrossing taut read that explores identity, memory, and the dangerous power of forgetting. The novel is available to pre-order right now, well ahead of its late February release. And here's the best part. Pre-order the new thriller Best Boy, and you'll be ready to join the excitement of the launch party at the United Theater in Westerly on Sunday, February 22nd at 5 p.m. To learn more about the author's life and works, visit DeborahGoodrichRoyce.com. Best Boy, pre-order today.
And we're back with the Ocean House Author Series on WCRI.
So let's talk about the character of Lou and your way into Lou, because Lou was a really, I think, grounding way to also understand Lori a little better. And so I'd like you to talk about her.
So all of my books have come to me as dual narratives. I have always had a contemporary person and then a historical. And some people, in readers, there is a line down the middle. People either love dual narratives or they really, really don't like them. And I happen to love them, and that's the way the story comes to me. And mostly because, for me at least, I need that mirror tie. I need to know why the past is still influencing a contemporary world or the present. Otherwise, it's beautiful and it's fun to like go away and be in like, the 1700s or something in my imagination. But what does it have to do with like now? I think that's probably too why I kind of love Outlander, because there's that tie. There's that like, you can be in a kilt in one time, but she's actually from like the modern, 50s world, 60s world. But I love that. I need that sort of connection. And so Lou is that connection. And yes, they call it historical fiction. We've worked with a similar editor, so Rachel was like, yes, the 90s are historical fiction now. I was like,
oh, really?
It was like, it made me feel all like, no. So it's in 1990, which is apparently historical fiction, which just hurts. It just hurts. So she is there, and people have asked, is that you? I had someone even last night in Boston ask if I do. And all of my characters, and I think you agree, are us, because they're coming through our lens of what's going on. So they're us, and they're absolutely not us. But I think Lou is my way of connecting with readers who are also sort of living vicariously through Lou and asking the questions and seeking answers. And I can't give anything away, but then Lou is also trying to just figure out her own self-identity and who she is and where she is in the world, because she's at that same age that Mother Lori was at when she left and went to the convent. So she's at a similar point of, what do I do with my life? What's this all about, this mean and worth, and what's my purpose?
Mm-hmm. So talk about process of writing dual narrative.
Sure.
I actually love dual narratives, and I like writing them. Do you write as the reader reads, or do you write one timeline, the other timeline, splice it together?
Yes, so they all come differently. They all have come differently. And for two of my other books, The Baker's Daughter and The Mapmaker's Children, are both dual narratives. And for those, I wrote back and forth, and then I ripped them apart and lined everything up, and then edited each, and then rebraided. It was a mess. It was a long mess. It doubled, tripled the process.
And you did it all digitally, or did you do any of it with like papers on the floor?
Oh, no, I am not one. No, I have a cat and a dog. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
They would just. No, I am not one of those old-fashioned longhand.
Yeah.
Because then I just have to put it on the computer. Why would I double myself up? I think faster now. I almost think faster by writing than having a conversation. Mm-hmm. I would much rather just write, and I would be able to versus having a conversation, having to put like sentences together in my mind. It's very strange. But I see some people nodding, so thank you, my kindred spirits. So yes, I write just straight on to the computer. And for this book, the historical sections came first, because I was inspired and I started researching and I started thinking about how this would go and how I could make three actresses into one character, and the parts of their lives that actually bloomed each other and sort of made them grow into one person. And then Lou, the contemporary, she was like, every time I got stuck, okay, this is stuff I haven't talked about before. So I'm like working through it like with a therapist here. So it was like, when I was at a section with Lori Lovely, when I was like, what happens next? What happens? I don't know. I would jump over to the contemporary, the 1990 world, and I would have Lou ask, what happens next? I don't know. I'm going to go try to figure this out. I'm going to go into the nun's library and try to figure out what's going on here, and then I would have her do some detective work. And then when she would go and do detective work, then I'd get clues, and I'd say, and then I would jump back to the historical and say, this is what happened next, and then can't make that mistake. Mother Lori would then go and give the explanation. And so that worked very organically in sort of leading the reader on to the final.
Because sometimes you have to write. I mean, you have to, if you're stuck, you have to keep writing to kind of write yourself out of the stuckness.
Right.
It's the writing of it that actually gives the direction.
And I still had to, at the end, tear them both apart.
Yeah.
I'd tear them both apart and just iron things out, you know, make sure everything fit together neat and nice and made sense. Because, you know, we kind of, when you're doing it that organically, there are some bumps in the road. So.
Do you outline? It sounds like you don't.
Yes.
You do.
I do.
You do. Okay.
Oh, I'm type A. I am very type A. But that's the thing. It's an odd thing because I outline and then it'll go off the outline.
Right.
And I let it do that.
Right.
And that's sort of when I know that this is now its own thing. These characters are their own voices. It sounds a little psychotic, but I'm okay. I'm good. But these voices have their own lives. And so I might have outlined for them to do, you know, get married to a man and then get divorced. And they're like, no, not going to do any of that.
Do you go back and change the outline later?
I don't need to change the
you just
outline.
leave it.
I just
so you're
continue.
not totally OCD.
No, I just continue on forward. Do you outline?
I do
thrillers
notes.
okay.
I kind of do notes where I have a clarity, but in a more prose way of what's happening.
Like paragraphs?
Yeah.
I do that.
I
That's
do a lot
my
of what
outline.
if, like, well, what if Deborah sat with Sarah and then the chandelier fell down and then it was because somebody shot the chandelier? Or no, what if the chandelier fell down because there was a fault in the building, or then this or then that, and kind of...
But the main action is the chandelier fell down.
Yes, which
Gotcha.
might stay or might not.
No, that's fascinating. I do paragraphs too that are like, what's the event that's causing an emotional or a action catalyst in each scene. So yeah, I do same thing.
So let's go back to this idea of these pivotal moments in life that can come at any point. They can come after early success. They can come when a girl's in college and she doesn't know where she's going. You really get to that here. Were you able to talk to Dolores Hart about her decision? You don't have to share details. And was that formative?
I didn't tell you all, but Deborah knows, is that I went up in my research. I always have to go to the places that I write about. I'm very sensorial in that way, in that I need to smell and feel and touch, and I just all in it. I need to be all in it. So all the places that are in this, I actually went to, like North Carolina, LA, Hollywood, Malibu, Rome. It's featured in this. I had to go to Rome. I had to go.
It's hard.
I know. I was like, honey, we have to go to Rome. So I went to Rome, and then the Abbey is hugely. So I had to go. So I petitioned the
diocese.
Diocese. Thank you.
Diocese.
The Archdiocese.
Archdiocese.
Yes. To go, and like 6 months ahead, and had to get that. And then I had to ask the Mother Abbess to let me in, and they're very protective of her. And she's in her 80s, and they're used to all people trying to get to her for years, and so they've protected her. So I said, no, look, y'all should know me because she's been writing me for 10 years, and you track all her mail. I mean, they're very guarded. And they were like, yes, we know. So they gave me access to come in. And I got to sit with my mother, Dolores. I got to sit with her and hug her and love her and talk to her. And I said to her, to your question, I said, I'm scared to ask you anything that will make you uncomfortable or that will ruin this that we have, this 10 years of, I don't want to say anything. And she said, why would you have come all this way if you weren't going to ask the hard questions? So ask the hard questions. And so we were in a little confessional, right? Catholics, help me.
We were in the confessional?
Well, but it's different. They're not all like that. This is a room that you go into, very bright, very airy, and she took me in there, and it has an area that's it's got the wall, like a holy veil or something, but it's an actual, like a see-through screen type thing. Hers was wooden. It was just like crosses. And so we went in, and so I knew, though, that I was like, I should be able to ask her anything, because, I mean, you know, this is like, people come in here and share that there should be some, I should be good. So I did. I asked her a lot of questions that did go into the story. And then I asked a lot of questions that she answered that, again, as a storyteller, I told you I went on a journey with this. I then, as a storyteller, had to ask myself, and someone who loves history, what do I put in a book for all the world to know about history? Even if it's fiction. And what about history do I choose not to put in, because I'm protecting this person and I value that relationship and it's their secret and they've shared it with me and they've given me kind of permission, but how far do I want to go to that line, and how dangerous is that? So I had a lot of questions about this living person's life and her secrets and her being so open to me. So yes, I cherry picked. I decided what I thought would be best for Lori Lovely. I thought about Dolores Hart and her secrets, and then I thought, okay, so what was at the heart of that decision? And how can I use that with Lori Lovely while still protecting my Dolores Hart? So I was careful. I was very careful. And then I also sent her this book months ago, when it was just bound copies. Before even this kind of book was made, they can bound it, and I sent it to her to read. And I knew too that everything that she gets and reads, there's like 12 other sisters who read with her. They're very protective of her. And so I got an email back, because they're progressive.
Yes.
They make it sound like they're not, and they have no communication, and if you call, you have to call the Portress line, and it's just one phone for the whole Abbey. Meanwhile, I get in there and they all have cell phones. Right? They all have, and I realized they're all texting each other inside the Abbey. And they're just not communicating with the outside. Right? And I know that they even like sneak things. Like one of them, Mother Leoba, she was like, you cannot put anything on Instagram or social media. No photos of us, no photos of inside, no photos. And I said, oh, but okay, so no photos. She was like, oh no, you can take photos. She was like, let's take a selfie. She was like, we can take all the photos we want. You just can't put them out there. I mean, even Mother Dolores at one point said, here, let's get a selfie and I'll put it as your bio picture. I was like, okay, all right. So, I mean, that was such a unique experience to go in, and that's part of what I wanted to put in the 1990s sections too, is that these nuns are not the medieval women we assume. They were younger than me. They were, lots of them, much younger than me, in their late 20s and 30s that I met. And then also women like Mother Dolores in their 80s, like living, she looked like she was maybe 60, and she told me she was 92. And I just thought, whatever they're doing in here.
Well, I think, we're really talking about people who realize they have a calling, right? There's a choice that's made, there's a consciousness. So
Yes.
It doesn't imply a total retreat from the world in fear or diminishment. It's actually an active going toward rather than running from.
And isn't that the definition of an empowered female?
Yes.
Is that you make the choice. Yes. It's not made for you. So I think even in that, I wanted to put in this book that you can make a choice for something like they did, to be in a cloistered situation, to shut down and have it be your private place, and to be in communication with something that other people might not understand. And that's okay too, and we need to be okay with that and embrace that and celebrate that.
Well, it's
in
so
other
not
people.
in Western society now. Other societies, I think, are more accepting of it, but it's almost disappeared. I mean, didn't all Irish families have one priest's son, pretty much? And that just doesn't exist so much anymore.
Yeah.
So we're about to go to audience questions, but I am going to tell my Connie Francis on a plane story.
Please do.
So I was an actress back in the day, and my boyfriend was Grant Forsberg, who was a young actor.
I know we're all going to go Google him now. Grant Forster, I'll repeat, okay.
He died.
No.
He died young, and his sister comes here. She's not,
gosh.
Denise, she's not here today. He's a terrific guy.
More reasons to watch his films.
Best
then.
friends with Kevin Bacon. Grant Forsberg, he was wonderful. So Grant and I get on a plane. Somehow we're getting on a plane in Atlanta. I don't know why we're getting on this plane there. And we're in first class. I don't know if it was work. It must have been work. And we're looking, and there's a woman, and she looks like a completely disheveled version of Connie Francis. And we're like, look, that woman looks like Connie Francis, but like a bag lady version of Connie Francis. And she's sitting there and reading in this very frenetic way Connie Francis's autobiography. So we're really dismayed. This cannot be Connie Francis sitting there reading her own book. But the stewardesses are going up and down the aisle to the woman, and at a certain point, the marshals come on. And they take hold of her to escort her off the plane. And she starts screaming and looking at each one of us in the eye, saying, "You're witnessing this. They're manhandling me. They're manhandling me." And this was after what had happened to her in the hotel room. She'd been raped when she was performing, and in her hotel room, someone had snuck in, "Make sure your hotel room doors are locked." And it was really a horrible thing to witness. But when we got back to LA, there was an article about it, that she had been taken to a mental hospital, and then when she got out, she gave her agent a hit list, and all I remember was it included Dick Clark. I don't know what he had done, but it was a terrible thing to see.
How old was she at that point?
Well, this was early 80s, so mid 80s, so 40s.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds young.
Yeah.
We'll take a short break and be back with the Ocean House Author Series here on WCRI.
This winter, beat the blustery days and the midwinter blues with a great read. Present the gift of escape from nationally best-selling and award-winning author Deborah Goodrich Royce. Her newest novel, Best Boy, is a gripping psychological thriller, an engrossing taut read that explores identity, memory, and the dangerous power of forgetting. The novel is available to pre-order right now, well ahead of its late February release. And here's the best part. Pre-order the new thriller Best Boy, and you'll be ready to join the excitement of the launch party at the United Theater in Westerly on Sunday, February 22nd at 5 p.m. To learn more about the author's life and works, visit DeborahGoodrichRoyce.com. Best Boy, pre-order today.
And we're back with the Ocean House Author Series on WCRI.
All right, questions?
On that note.
Now that you're on that note, who's going to raise your hands? I've shared a lot tonight.
I have such a loud voice. Did you have to ask Dolores to write her story?
She already wrote a memoir, first off. She already put out a memoir years ago, I think in 2013, called Ear of the Heart. And she laid it all out there, and I read that. But again, when I first started writing her, I just was sharing my life. I was sharing my problems. I went through some hard times, and she prayed for me, and we just became friends. And then when I wanted to write this book, I'd already read her memoir, and I came to her and said, I'm gonna write this book. It's you, it's inspired by you, but it's not you. It's all these other women, and I explained to her the whole concept. And I was really nervous. And she said, I've lived my life, go write your book. And that is actually in the acknowledgements, I put it in there just because that was such a blessing to have her bless me with that. I've lived my life, go write your book. So yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I needed it. All the lawyers at my publishing house were like, you don't need her approval to write this. It's fiction. But I said, I need it, though. I need her to approve. So,
Just going back to the three women, I just remember seeing the Romeo and Juliet movie, and Olivia Hussey I was obsessed.
She had that straight hair.
She was so magnificent. And then I just remember she was young. She just disappeared.
She was 16, though, in that movie.
she was very young.
She was very young. I actually started off with Lori Lovely being like 17, and my editor said, you cannot have her be underage because we just can't. We can't do that. So
It's
I
different
bumped her up.
times, yeah.
Different times.
It was fascinating because I think what you were talking about being so young, and then where do you go? And then we never heard about her again. I don't even know even if she's alive. I don't know.
No, she just passed away of breast cancer, and
Oh,
it's
that's-
I did
so
read that.
terrible because my agent and her agent had gotten in contact, and my agent was going to give her a galley as soon as these were printed, and she died like a month before these galleys were made. And I was just heartbroken.
Did she have children?
She had, I think, 2.
Oh, well.
Yes.
You can send the book. I would think they would like it.
I didn't think about that.
It really is a
Deborah,
beautiful
that's
homage.
a really good idea. I'm going to tell
With
my
a little
agent.
note,
Thank you.
yeah.
That was so nice.
It's the idea source.
Oh my goodness. What a good idea. I see some people like starting and then put it
Well,
down.
so I do want to ask something.
Sure.
We talked a bit about process, but length of time. So for 10 years, you were in correspondence.
Correct.
But really, from when you had the idea of writing the book to the book we're holding in our hands, which
How long?
came out yesterday. Yeah.
It was 3 years. 3 years. But it sounds long, but I would think, so I had to go to all these places I explained. And that's a lot of travel time. And then I think the writing of the first draft before I gave it to my publisher was probably 9-10 months at most. But then you give it to your publisher, and then she takes 2 months with it, and then you get it back, and then you do edits, and then it's a year of publication process when it's like being milled out by the actual machines. Like, so.
No, that sounds, 3 years
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
I'm a
3-year girl.
I'm a 3 I feel like that process of writing for a year, editing for 9 months or so, and then it takes about a year for you to kind of get the marketing publicity machines going too at these big houses. So, yeah.
I also think there's a factor of time. There's something about time. Everything is in your head, and you don't even know what your own brain is sorting out for you unconsciously. And my first novel, I had a ping that woke me up in the middle of the night. Not about a section I was writing then. The book was, I had finished this long before, and it's a thriller, and I thought, oh, that won't work.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was going to be like, aha.
No, if that thing were in the book, it would actually undermine all credibility of this one part. And I didn't know I was thinking about it. I didn't know I was even aware. But those things, I think, don't come to us without time.
I agree.
Time is a construct here on this planet, and we need it.
I totally agree. And I also think you just also validated what I said about how sometimes, too, we are living with these voices, and they wake us up in the middle of the night, and they tell us that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's part of the strange and wonderful alchemy of writing. And I think that alchemy, too, I found at the Abbey. I felt a sense of that mysterious other, higher calling, higher being. And it's in writing, too. It's in that there's a magic.
You're plugged in.
Yeah, so that's, it could be your characters, you have to give them time to come after you in your dreams.
That's right. Tell you things. And if you rush it sometimes, you really don't have time to catch what's coming at you because you can't control it, I find.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Question?
You talked a little bit about how you are type A. And so in your creative process, when you're thinking about writing, are you type A enough that you get up at 5 in the morning and you sit at your desk and you write every day? Or does it come to you in a way that you wake up in the middle of the night and you're writing because that thing came to you in that moment.
Right. First off, sleep. You don't mess with my sleep. Like, it is like top priority. My husband is in the back of the room, and he knows that you do not mess with my sleep, because I have learned that when I don't sleep, then I literally lose my mind. I start to feel like manic. I'm angry for no reason. I'm just angry all the time. So sleep is very therapeutic for me. So I would never get up at 5 a.m. Because I need to write. But I am type A in that from probably 9, let's be honest. 9 a.m., I try to have all my coffee and I'm ready to go, and I'm at my desk, and I have no TV. This is just during the creative first draft writing too, guys, or editing. No TV, no radio, no talking, no nothing, silent in my office, and I write. Mm-hmm. And I write and I write and I write. And if I get stuck, I stop and I don't leave. And I sit there and I either read some more material about that, or I research something that in another scene, but I do not give myself the luxury of saying, I don't feel like it, it's not coming to me, this is too hard, I'll go do something else. Sometimes I'll go for a walk, actually, because that helps kind of get the creative juices going, and I'm thinking. And then I don't stop until my husband comes home, usually 7 or so from work, and then I'm me again. But I keep those hours because it reminds me that you are blessed and lucky to be doing this. This is your job. Mm-hmm. This is because otherwise it becomes a hobby. And then...
So you do 10 hours?
About.
Yeah, I'm kind of a 6 person, but 10.
But you know what? That also, some of that includes, like, I stop for an hour at lunch. I always have to eat something hot at lunch. Lunch can be at 1 or it can be at 3. It doesn't matter to me, but it's got to be hot. Mm-hmm. Because I can't eat a cold lunch, I'm angry again. My husband calls
this is a girl who knows what she likes.
Yeah, my husband calls it the unholy trinity. He defined this like 20 years ago with me. That's how long we've been together. So Sarah cannot be hungry, cold, or tired. Any combination of those, I'm monstrous. All 3, and I'm the devil incarnate. Get out of my way. Hungry, cold, or tired. So sleep, food, and warmth. Those are the things I need. Yeah. So I am type A, but I also am flexible to, like, sometimes life doesn't give you that. Sometimes I have 2 hours. That's it for the day. And I have learned to be okay with that, because I used to self-flagellate. Like, you want to be a writer, you call yourself a writer. You only did 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I really would get like that, and it was not healthy. So now I give space for, like, if only 2 hours, then the characters don't have anything else to say to me today, and I need to let them rest, and I need to let them go for the day and be a person and be me. Because sometimes, brilliantly, like you just said, you need to invest in your time, because your time on this earth is just as precious, right? Not living forever. So I've started to give myself that.
Yeah. Do we have one more? We have time for one more.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Do you remember me? Now
that's the start of a novel in itself.
Yes.
Oh my!
I think all the serious literary questions are over. Peter from Cambridge.
Oh my
The birdhouse.
gosh!
I think it's been 15 years.
It's been 15 years. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
That really was like the start of a novel. I got full hot flash sweat. I was like, oh my gosh.
I take no credit for that.
It is so good to see you. Thank you for
We
coming.
will talk.
We might have to use that. Oh my gosh, we might have to use that.
Well, I kind of did in Best Boy. It kind of is. Do you remember me? Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast of the Ocean House Author Series with Deborah Goodrich Royce. Please tune in each month as we'll bring you a new Ocean House Author Series highlighting nationally best-selling and award-winning authors in a salon-style conversation, hosted by Ocean House owner, actress, and best-selling author Deborah Goodrich Royce. WCRI is pleased to be partnering with the Ocean House to bring you this ongoing series highlighting the best and brightest of the literary world. Thank you once again for joining us. And in the words of Margaret Atwood, in the end, we all become stories.